Can you imagine preparing for a cruise? You get on board, you grab your first drink, you head up to the solarium or the pool deck, you're hanging out with your friends, and all of a sudden the captain comes on and says, instead of going to Florida, Nassau, and Perfect Day at Coco Cay, we're going to go to the Dominican Republic. This is what happens in hurricane season. Stick with me for 5 pro tips to keep your vacation smooth, even when the weather's not. Let's go talk about it. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back to our channel. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, July 11th. We are knee deep here in hurricane season. So I wanted to talk to you about things that you could do, and you might not need this for this year because you're probably already booked and things are already happening, but hoping some of these tips can still help you. And you can always bookmark this for next year or for when you book that cruise, maybe on board your cruise this year for next year, you'll have a little bit more information. So let's talk about hurricane season. Hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th. Yes, the Jason months, June, July, August, September, October, November. It's half the year. It's crazy, right? In the Atlantic, and yes, even if you're sailing off season, you might hit some tropical waves or some weather issues, but don't let that tamper your fun or your excitement about going on a cruise. For the most part, you're not going to hit any of that weather, but if you do, we have some tips for you today. With a little planning, you can glide right through these storms. So here's the first thing. Timing is everything. If you sail early June or into November, you're much less likely to hit any type of tropical storm or hurricane. So that takes 2 months out of the equation. Not that it's never going to happen, but it's less likely to happen than it would be July, August, specifically September-ish. August, September, October, those months are a little sketchy. So those bookend months seem to have way fewer named storms. Think of it as like the early bird special or the late night special of hurricane season. You're going to save some money, especially around June. June's a good month to cruise anyway. Kids are just getting out of school, so it's a good month for family. It's a bad month for me to cruise because kids are out of school. I'd prefer to cruise in September when there are no kids, but that's definitely hurricane season. So there you go. And you can always try a repositioning cruise as well. Those are really fun if you're just trying to save some money in and around hurricane season, where you're going maybe from Europe over to the US and they're repositioning a ship, or more likely in the June timeframe, you're going from the US over to Europe as they reposition some ships for the summer over there. To go along with your first tip in picking the best window, you can always pick a better itinerary too, right? So you can always pick a European itinerary where there are less chances of a tropical storm or a hurricane. You can pick an Alaskan itinerary, the fjords, a bunch of different things to maybe take you out of the Atlantic, and even the Pacific, which does have a very similar hurricane season. So tip number 2 is make sure you have travel insurance. If anything goes wrong, you want to make sure that you have it. Here's the thing though, if you are really concerned about hurricane season, where you don't even want to take a little bit of a chance of getting involved, where if you get up to that date, you want to be like, hey, I don't feel comfortable, I don't want to go, you're going to need cancel for any reason insurance. Cancel for any reason insurance costs a lot more money, but it's going to refund you back 95% of your money for your entire cruise, your hotels, your flights, whatever you insure. It's going to give you 95% of that money back. If you just say at the last minute, I don't feel comfortable, I'm not going. Now, keep in mind, if you have insurance and your trip gets interrupted for some reason, you have to stay longer, you have to go to different ports, all of those things will be covered by standard travel insurance. Even if you run into a big storm, keep in mind, if there's a huge storm for some reason and your cruise doesn't go, the cruise line's going to give you your money back for that or transition you to a different trip. So, you have that. But travel insurance, every trip, make sure you have it. If you travel a lot, get a yearly policy. Tip number 3, monitor everything like a pro. I'm a lunatic in these months, watching like the radar, I have a favorite channel. He is Mr. Weatherman. Talks about all the tropical storms, all the things weather going on, especially around the Caribbean, especially hurricane season, East Coast, West Coast. He has up to the minute information for you. Also keep in mind that cruise lines like Royal Caribbean have a weather person, a meteorologist on staff that are constantly monitoring these things to make sure they know everything about. There's a storm that's starting in Africa that's going to get over here sometime in the next few weeks. They know all about it. They're prepared. They have secondary itineraries, different places they can go, places they can stay out to sea, all kinds of things that you wouldn't even think about unless you were really keeping an eye on it. But that's my thing. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on your itinerary for your cruise. You'll get notifications. Talk to your travel agent. If you're not feeling comfortable about something, they can possibly help you switch things around as well. Tip number 4 is always when you go on a cruise or any type of vacation, keep your patience packed and embrace flexibility. Crazy things are going to happen on vacation. It's not about what happens, it's how you react to it. So look, be flexible at sea. Book with cruise lines that you know have kind of generous rebooking policies if something happens. If you skip a port, they're going to give you your money back. You can get onboard credits, shore excursions, a bunch of different things like that. Those things are going to be your best friends here. And just again, when you're cruising in August and September and those really kind of crazy months, the story I used in the beginning was our story. We got on Anthem of the Seas, cruising, I believe it was early November, late October, early November. So there you go, still in those months, but closer to the end. We got on the Anthem in Bayonne. We got our drinks. We were up in the solarium and the captain came on and said, hey, we're not doing our itinerary. There are tropical storms. We are heading to the Dominican Republic. We still had a great cruise. Everything was wonderful. Also, we had this happen on Labor Day on our sailing on the MTL getaway. We were supposed to go to a bunch of different places like Bermuda. We never did. We wound up going to Miami. We wound up going to another port in the Dominican. Dominican's a good way to get away from things for some reason, if there's something going on in the Atlantic. So just be flexible. Try to be as open-minded as you possibly can. Everybody that works for the cruise lines, I know we all like to think they're just worried about money, they're just worried about these things, which they are, but your safety is their number one priority. These ships that we get on could easily sail through a hurricane. They could make it through, and guess what? The ship would be fine. You may not be. It's going to be very uncomfortable. You're not going to feel great, so they don't want to do that. They're going to avert at all costs to keep you happy and comfortable and safe. And then last but not least, have a plan B for your plan A. Before you sail, look at some backup excursions or look at some things that you want to do on board. Anytime now I'm going to the Bahamas and Florida in hurricane season, I always look at backup excursions in the Dominican Republic, just so I'm prepared, because I know that that's a spot that you head to sometimes when there's something going on in the Atlantic. If you're in the Gulf and you see there's something going on there and you might get diverted to the Bahamas or something, just keep something in mind. Make sure you're flexible. You're thinking on board with all your thoughts. And then keep in mind too, if you're on a itinerary heavy cruise and maybe you're going to get stuck out to sea, maybe this is a good time to quickly purchase the drink package or to find really fun things to do on board. Make sure you sign up for them. You have escape rooms on the ship. You have spa treatments. There's wine tastings. You can do a bunch of things to enjoy yourself. It's not going to stop happy hour. You're going to have a great time on your cruise. Those are 5 tips to help you cruise in hurricane season. Don't let Mother Nature crash your party. If you have a storm dodging trick, please comment below. If you have any questions, you need any help, please email me at jp@bitesizecruises.com. We're here and happy to help you with any of your questions or concerns about cruising. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you tomorrow. Happy cruising. Bye.